Hello and welcome to Rolling Solo. Let's keep rolling. So, hi everybody, welcome to Rolling Solo. This is a D&D, not really a D&D, this is a tabletop role-playing game, solo play show. And we have been following a D&D campaign consisting of the short, because we've only done 5 or 6 sessions, adventures of a human monk with a sidekick. She's traveling through a new and exciting world and meeting new and interesting people and beating them up and getting beaten up by them. And we're dropping that campaign. So, why are we dropping that campaign? Sorry. I always forget something. And today it's my glasses. Hold on. We'll be right back. There we go. That's better. Okay, so trying out a new microphone today instead of the lavaliers. It's probably a little bit different. But I'm doing it because tomorrow we're going to be doing something very exciting, which is actually playing with some other people and having our first group campaign or a group session as we test out the new system that I'm testing out today. So we're dropping the first campaign. We're going straight into campaign 2. I will probably take the last week's episode and upload it at some point today or tomorrow to YouTube for posterity, but then we'll be moving on from Iona and onto our new character. So why are we doing this? And I guess it comes right down to the question of, like, why do I want to have this channel? Why did we start this? What is the point? And I really just want to tell stories. And kind of felt like with the first campaign, I was getting caught up in mechanics. I was getting caught up in how to solo play. I was getting caught up in making a lot of rolls. And that wasn't as fun or satisfying as I wanted it to be. And by the way, if you like this kind of content, please, as the algorithm will require me to do, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Hit that like button and stuff. And if you like the Rolling Solo shirt, Solo, that's just how I roll. You can get it at Solid Soft Designs Etsy shop. I have this shirt. I have a bunch of other shirts. I hope you like them. You can find it there. Okay, that out of the way. So I'm here to tell stories. And I want to have fun. I want to have fun telling stories. And I wasn't having as much fun as I wanted to have. And hey, this is my stream and no one's watching it. So I thought I'd just drop it and go on to do something else. So what kind of stories do I want to tell? And there's a couple of things I want to do with storytelling. And one is I'm genderqueer. I want to tell queer stories. I want to tell stories about people who don't fit in, people who need found family, people who, maybe are struggling a little bit with who they are and what they want to do. And I want to tell a story with a strong female lead, just because. And I want to tell a story that's more of a heroine's journey. There's a great book by Gil Carriger called The Heroine's Journey that kind of goes through some common Western myths and some modern stories and talks about how these stories are not heroes' journeys as we typically understand the concept of a hero's journey, but really more of this other thing which he calls the heroine's journey. And there's some good academic research in here and some other things I highly recommend. So, but a story like The Heroine's Journey has a structure. It has a descent. It has a search. The character loses their family, loses their place in society, and then is moves on to their separation is always involuntary. They're separated. They're cast out. They go on a search to try to find their way back to where they were. The search can involve a lot of different themes, disguise, usually found family. There's usually some kind of descent into the underworld, which is the same as the hero's journey. And then they succeed. But the way that they succeed is rather than succeeding on their own or fighting for this concept of self-reliance, it's really about the people around them, the community that they build through the story. And she gives some examples of this. Interestingly, Twilight is one of them, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm sure you can think of other ones where it's really about who you build your story with. And one story I can think about that's a lot like this is Naomi Novik's Temeraire series. Even though the main character is a man, and a very buffly man, what makes things work for him, how he builds success and gets back to where he was as a gentleman in English society, is all through his found family. It's all through the people the crew that he creates around himself, and the people who he learns to count on and rely on. Whether they're in his crew or not in his crew, or traditional people who should be part of his team or not. It's an interesting story, and it has a lot of plot points that are in that. And then at the end, of course, you have the ascent, you have the return, and the return is transformative and a negotiation. It's not a defeat of the enemy who caused the rift in the first place, but it's a rebuilding of that community, and possibly in a new form, and possibly there is not a place for some of the antagonists, and possibly there is a place for some of the antagonists. It really depends more on the antagonist and whether they have a willingness to be a part of this new transformed society. And so, so that's the kind of story that I want to tell, which is a lot, right? And was not at all where we were going with campaign 1. So this is where I want to go with campaign 2. And so to that, the question is, so how are we going to tell a story? And this is a solo play show, so we're going to tell a story through the medium of a tabletop role-playing game and solo play in that tabletop role-playing game. And we've been playing 5e, but there's a new system that just dropped out in open beta called Daggerheart, which is from Darrington Press. It's the Critical Role people have come up with their own game. And one thing I love about Critical Role is that it is all about story. It's all about narrative. The game mechanics are there to serve how the characters and the people around the table tell their story. So I would like to try their new system because it seems to be very narrative driven. It has less crunchy mechanics. Combat is much more cinematic. And I feel like it's just going to have more to offer us than 5e did. So to that end, this product was created using the Darrington Press Community Gaming License. The Daggerheart Open Beta Materials are owned and copyrighted by Darrington Press LLC. All rights are reserved. This product is based on the following public game content created and owned by Darrington Press, Daggerheart Open Beta Materials, Darrington Press LLC, 2024, available at daggerheart.com. So this is a new system, and So with all of that said, let's get started with Daggerheart. I always forget two things. The other thing that I forgot were, believe it or not, my dice. So hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at the Daggerheart system. We're going to go ahead and create a character. This is Demiplane's Demiplane's Daggerheart Nexus. That's app.demiplane.com if you want to check their stuff out. It's really quite nice. And the first thing they want to know is, what is our character's name? So let's go ahead and, as is my wont, we will go to a fantasy name generator. We will come up with some real names. Let's go with a European name. Let's do French names. Let's get some female names. I have 10 names on the screen. I'm going to roll for... That is a D100. That is a D8. That's a D20. That is a D100. That is a D10. Two. Okay. All right. There's our name. Auriane Chopin. Auriane, something like that. Pronouns are she, her. We do not have a portrait yet because we haven't even begun. Let's begin. So we can choose an ancestry. They have a lot of ancestries, but I've narrowed it down to 8 that I'm interested in playing. And mostly this is because of the kind of story I want to tell, which is, I want to tell this kind of queer story. I need to have a character who I can kind of connect with their queerness. So I've limited down to 8 different ancestries that I might choose from. The one I really didn't want. Okay, nope, we're going with it. We're going with an elf. Then we can choose a community. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we will roll 2 8-sided die. Doubles is Wildborn. It's the last one. We will choose a die. Let's say this one to be our main die. This gets kind of like, it turns out to be like 8 out of 64 for the doubles and 7 out of 64 for each of the other ones. Each of the other 8. So that's an 8. Wanderborn. Being part of a Wanderborn community means you were raised as a nomad, not having a permanent home, but experiencing a wide variety of cultures. Our ability here is to have a nomadic pack. Add a nomadic pack to your inventory once per session. You may spend a hope to reach into this pack and pull out a common item that is useful in this situation. Work with the GM to figure out what this item is. So I'll work with myself to figure out once per session what nifty item I have with me. All right, let's pick a class. So how many classes do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, same thing. This is the dominant die. This is for doubles. Dominant die says 3 Guardian. Guardian has the Valor and Blade domains. This will make sense later. A starting evasion score of 6. Unstoppable. Once per long rest, you can become unstoppable. Your unstoppable die begins as D4. Place it on your character sheet. While unstoppable, you gain resistance to physical damage, add an additional D6 to any damage rolls you make, and spend stress to reroll any single die you've rolled. Okay. Stalwart and Vengeance are possible subclasses, so we'll see what we're going to pick for that. So let's select that class. Okay. Alrighty. Next thing it wants me to do is it wants me to choose a subclass. We have Stalwart and Vengeance Guardians. So this one will just do a straight up even odds on a 20. Odds are Stalwarts, evens are Vengeance. That is a 3. So odds are Stalwart. Stalwart. When you take this foundation, raise all of your damage thresholds by +2. When you take physical damage, you may spend a hope instead of marking an armor slot to reduce the damage by your armor score. Okay. Let's select that. Set your traits. We are just going to go with the suggested traits. We have agility +1, strength +2, finesse -1, instinct +0, presence +1, and knowledge +0. And I'm sure all of this will make more sense later. So for agility, sprint, leap, and maneuver, strength, lift, smash, grapple, finesse, control, hide, and tinker, instinct, perceive, sense, navigate, presence, charm, perform, or deceive, knowledge, recall, analyze, or comprehend. So that looks good. We've made our selections there. Choosing our starting weapons, I am going to go with what they suggest. They suggest we take a battle axe. A tier 0 physical weapon. That is a two-handed primary weapon, so all we're carrying is a battle axe. We cannot carry anything else as a secondary. So, well, there's that. Choose our starting armor. They recommend that we take chainmail armor, which is heavy and gives us a -1 to evasion. So we will take their selection. Let's see. Minor health potion. What are these options? So I don't think we really know yet. Immediately clear hit points. Immediately clear stress. I'm going to go with hit points. That sounds more like something we want. And I think we're carrying a stone totem. We'll work that into our backstory. Finally, we have our domain deck cards. Okay, so we have Valor and Blade. So for Valor, we have Bare Bones. Well, this card is in your loadout. If you choose not to wear armor, your armor score is equal to 3 plus double your strength trait. So that would be 7. So if we go back to our starting armor, right, because our strength trait is 2. So that would be +4, that would be 7. And then that would also bring up our evasion by 1. I guess that's more of, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll take that one. And then let's see. Oh, I like this. When you take damage from a creature, retaliation. When you take damage from a creature in melee range, you may mark a stress to immediately deal weapon damage to the creature at half proficiency rounded up. So at least 1, no matter what. So, so whatever that means, that sounds good. So, but there's also this one, Whirlwind. Oops, I didn't mean to select that. Let's unselect that and let's go here. Whirlwind, when you make a successful attack using a weapon with melee or very close range, you may also spend a hope to use that roll against every other enemy in that weapon's range. Any additional enemies you succeed against with this ability take half damage. For a solo character, this sounds like a really good idea. So we'll take that. All right. And then we will deselect our starting armor. We're not carrying any armor. We're going armor free. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll take the chainmail armor because it's making us, but it's going to make us take a second weapon, even though I don't think we can really use one. So I guess for a secondary weapon, we can take a hallowed axe. You know what? Let's see if we can get away with this. Since we did this no armor thing, let's take a round shield. And a hallowed axe. It's a D10. It's a magical weapon. We don't want a magical weapon. We want a physical weapon. So the battle axe does a D10 plus 2, which is a lot. But what if we had a one-handed weapon that was a strength weapon? I mean, that's a D8 weapon, so that's not bad. We'll lose some power, but it might be fun. So, yeah. What else can we carry? Rapier is a finesse weapon. We don't want a finesse weapon. Warhammer is two-handed. Short sword is one-handed. Short sword does... Oh. But it's an agility weapon. That's no good. I wonder if we can search for strength. Let's see what we got going on here. We can. Let's see. All right. We'll go with that one. We'll go with a mace. That's what we're carrying. Experiences. Oh. First, we have to choose our description. All right, so we're just going to roll for this. So let's see. We've got clothes that are, our options are weathered, casual, padded, tactical, loose, intricate, and royal. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 of these options. We'll roll 2d6s. The big die is the dominant die. Those are 4, so we are wearing clothes that are royal. That does not fit our character at all. We're wearing tactical clothing. I'm taking that 4, not the doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For our next option. That one's doubles. I'm taking it. Eyes like carnations. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2d10 on this next roll. 1d10. 1d10. That's a 2. We're tall. I'm just going to go with where the color of... I'm going to say either obsidian or ashes. Even odds on the d20. Odds are obsidian, even is ashes. Ashes. Attitude like a general, a caretaker, a wrestler, an elephant, a captain. Okay, 2d4. That's a 4. Attitude like an elephant. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll figure it out. All right, let's answer some background questions here. So, we were talking about how the heroine's story goes. And we have the we have the descent, the loss and separation from family. And so that's the important thing, right? Is how did we fall? I think we want to start our story with the search after the descent. So we're going to have the descent be part of our backstory. So and we'll start in the middle. So who from our community did we fail to protect? So let's say, and let's start getting into some Daggerheart mechanics here. So in Daggerheart, players roll 2 d12s for everything. And one of the d12s is hope, and one of the d12s is fear. And so we're going to use these, and we're just going to say, like, who from our community did we fail to protect? And we'll give ourselves some options, and we'll see if we can narrow it down. So, we hope we failed to protect an adult. We fear we failed to protect a child. So that's a 12 on hope. So we failed to protect an adult. We hope that adult was not a family member. We fear that it was a family member. It's a 5. It's a 5 on the die. We failed to protect a family member. We hope they're still alive. We're afraid they're dead. Ooh, they're dead. Okay. We hope it was not our immediate family. We fear it was our immediate family. It was not our immediate family. So we failed to protect a family member. They were an adult. We hope they're from the generation before us, and we fear they're a contemporary. Okay, they're from the generation before us. That's a 10 on hope. So we failed to protect. Okay, this works. So we're a warrior, we're a guardian, we're a protector. I will say that I was a bodyguard for my evens for aunt, odds for uncle, odds for uncle. An important member of the like he was a leader in our community. And we'll figure out what our community is at some point later. I suspect we were betrayed by a rival and set up, but whether we were or not, he was killed in an ambush because we've decided he's dead. And I was exiled. So there we go. There's our descent. We have, and we have a motive. I suspect that we were set up. So I would like to prove that or somehow clear my name. Betrayed by a rival with, our rival has to have some kind of bad intentions. The rival, we think, the rival intends to betray the community at large in some significant way, and we want to prove that and return to our family. We may change that later, but we're just going to go with that for right now. So we'll give ourselves like a goal, a search, a larger narrative. We need to gather evidence. We have recently been tasked with protecting something important with the goal of delivering it somewhere dangerous. What is it, and where does it need to go? Okay. So we need a MacGuffin. We need some kind of a random item. Something important. We hope it is not magical. We fear that it is. It's a 4 for hope. So it is a not magical item. It's a non-magical item of great value. Okay. Is it a person? Let's go back to using our standard D20 oracle. Or let's just decide. Yes, we have come into the employ of a wealthy family, our job is to deliver a daughter of the house through dangerous lands to a to an arranged marriage. Sure, why not? Let's get some tropes going on here. Because I mean, you know, this is going to turn out to be like we're going to try to get a love story going on between us and the daughter of the house. Like, why wouldn't we? It's a queer story. We're going to deliver our jobs to an arranged marriage that is also a secret part of a small retinue of people. So we're going to need to build some NPCs of some kind to go along with us. You've always felt a little uncomfortable in your skin. What are you self-conscious of? Well, I don't think I would be personally, but let's try playing this from the other direction. We will be self-conscious of my femininity. Femininity? Yeah, that's how you spell it. Seeks a more androgynous look. Okay. All right. So that will get us to where we generate experience. So, backgrounds like bodyguard, con artist, merchant, noble, pirate, scholar. Oh, I think we've definitely got the bodyguard background. I mean, we'll just use that one. It's just right there. And we'll put 2 points because things I know because I've been looking at the different things. But we'll go ahead and read this. In Daggerheart, your experience is one of the core ways you'll express your character's backstory and expertise through mechanics. An experience is a word or phrase used to encapsulate a specific set of skills your character might have because of the exciting life they've lived. You start with 2 experiences at character creation, one with a +2 modifier, the other with a +1, and you'll earn more throughout your adventures. Before choosing, you'll have to have a solid idea of who your character is. Backstory questions are especially helpful with this. So, we're going to say that +2 on bodyguard, and then our other experience would be what do we know about this character? Well, we know that she is resilient. We know that she was a bodyguard, got ambushed, survived the ambush, even though her principal didn't, so she's tough. We know that after she was exiled, she didn't die, so she's a survivor. She managed to find herself some work, continuing to do what it is that she does, and even got into a position of trust. So I'm going to use trust me. That's her experience. Her experience is trust me. Great connections. Okay, so we're part of a small retinue at this point. So we're probably going to have 1 or maybe 2 other NPCs. We'll have... Okay. How small is our retinue? There's us, there's 1 other bodyguard, and there's the princess. Okay. So let's see. We've got us. We have 1 other bodyguard whose character we'll make at some point. And we have the princess, who is just the eldest daughter of the house, who will also need a name. So, how did I save one of their lives the first time they met? I'm going to say that the other bodyguard is a longtime retainer. So our other bodyguard is, let me see. I have a pronoun table reader, so I'm just going to do a quick roll on that. Rolled a 7. So the other bodyguard, she is a longtime retainer. Older woman. Has looked after Princess for her whole life. So, all right, we're going to want to give this person a name. Let's go with European names. We'll go Icelandic. We'll give them an Icelandic culture. Get some female names here. Ursula. Ursula Fransdotter. And let's roll a d10 to get the princess's name. That's a 10. But I don't like that name. But I love that one. Cobra. Bambadoter. Is that an A or an O? I don't know. I think it's an I think it's an A. Well, anyway, Cobra Bambadoter. And she is our princess. So we'll say that Ursula was beset. Ursula and Cobra. And that's going to be which accent? Yeah, that's the correct accent. Cobra were attacked. Road I happened by and was able to help drive off the banditti. Other members of the group are not so lucky, so I found a job. What did Cobra give us? What would be a gift that someone would give to their bodyguard? Nothing romantic. Nothing like a handkerchief or a flower. She gave us a small prayer book. She notices I carry it, but never, ever read it. And what lie has she told me about herself that I absolutely believe? Well, there's the obvious. She told me she is willing she wants to go through with this wedding. She doesn't. She hates the idea. She doesn't want to marry a guy. She doesn't want to be involved in this. But she knows that it's important to her family that she do. So I'm going to say that she thinks that this is important for her to do and is putting on not just a brave face, but an enthusiastic face. And because of her enthusiasm, I absolutely 100% believe that Cobre wants to go through with this. So, all right, those are our connections. Let's save our changes. Let's go to our character sheet. And there we go. We have our character. Our armor is 7. Our evasion is not great at 6. But let's see if we can do some things. Let's go ahead and equip our round shield and our mace. Our armor has gone up to 9. Our evasion dropped to 6. Does that change? Nope. Okay, good. All right, so we can carry a shield even if we're not wearing armor. So that's nice, I guess, because the shield counts as a melee weapon. It does. It's also a strength weapon. It does 1d4 physical damage. It's +2, so I guess that's +2 to hit. Let's see. Let's roll it. Let's hit their rolling. See what happens. We roll. We rolled a 6 and a 10 +2 for a total of 18 with fear. So we'll talk about mechanics just a little bit here. Let's talk about mechanics by playing through our scene, which we can't do because we don't have characters yet. So let's see where we're at for time. We are at 49 minutes and 29 seconds, which puts us about 10 minutes before an hour. I think we're good. When the next time we play, we will come in with character sheets for our other 2 characters. We'll come in with character sheets for our other characters. For the NPCs, I'll figure out what classes or whatever to make them, so that we can have some good NPCs. And we will come in at the scene. We will flash back to the rescue scene, and we'll see how that goes. So I think that'll work. That'll give me time to prep that scene, get some stuff into a VTT so that we can play it out and see how it all works out. And it'll give us some time to talk about the Daggerheart system a little bit more, how it works, and how we're going to play it. So thank you for hanging out with me to create a character, and I will see you next time in about a week. So again, thank you for watching it this far, and don't forget to keep rolling.